I want to come to you, Andrew. We had a speaker who just talked about an out-of-this-world idea. She's putting solar in space. I want to come to someone who's the opposite, deep in the ground, here on Earth, right? You're a man with muddy boots. Your business is about as opposite as space-based solar as you can get, and yet you're showing your own industry there's a different way. Can you tell us how the investments you're making at Fortescue, or how are they connected to this challenge of respecting nature, and maybe even a little bit of the conversion and thinking you've had yourself on this topic?
Yeah, certainly. And look, I'm very grateful to be on this panel with like-minded individuals from all different walks of life. I think, to pick up a theme of yours, if we treat nature and climate differently, we're bowing to a bureaucratic falsity. Nature and climate in the real world are just one, and both must be addressed at the same time. There's different solutions, but overarching, we have to rid the world of fossil fuel. It's why this dreadful fraud of this word net, World Economic Forum keeps using the word net zero. Until we move on from that, until we stop making nature the recipient of all our carbon dioxides, until we stop saying we'll just plant more forests or we'll sequester it in the ground, every physical scientist knows that doesn't work.
So you want to go to real zero, am I right?
Yeah,
that's what your contrast is.
So do what you say you're going to do, right? Just stop burning fossil fuel. Preserve it perhaps for molecules, do other things with it, but don't waste it, burn it, which destroys the beautiful reefs of Ningaloo, the Great Barrier Reef, or the marvellous hinterlands which we see around the world, slowly degrading in front of our eyes because we insist on burning what is quite a valuable element, which is an oil, which we can transport into everything else, but burning it, do it if you've got no choice. If you're going to die, do it. But if you've got a perfectly legitimate choice, if you've got data centres which are plugging into the grid, that's just lazy. Governments allow data centres to plug into the grid and into the water mains and drive up the cost of energy when they could even more easily and commercially, if you encourage them, go off-grid, where there is masses of space. I mean, I'm talking millions of hectares to put solar panels, to put wind farms, to put data centres, to put mining. But don't do what governments can insist on doing, which is subsidising fossil fuels.
Right.
It's moronic. It's stupid. Don't on the one hand say, we've got to go green, we're a green government, we're actually thinking in your children's long-term interest, while out of this hand, you're subsidising fossil fuels and saying to people like us, oh, by the way, fight a 200-year-old industry which has swallowed trillions of dollars of subsidies with one hand tied behind your back. Now, we're doing it, but we're an extreme case.
Give us a concrete example of what you're doing. Is it the electrification that you're doing, or what do you have the most excitement about?
It's across the board. We're bringing ammonia into shipping. We're bringing electrification into all our industries, from heavy trucks. I mean, trucks which are as big as this room, if not bigger. Trains which are the largest machines on Earth. 3 kilometres long, carrying 30,000 tonnes of ore. They're all going green. And in that process, some of the largest plants in the world, which we have built, all going green, saving 1 billion litres of diesel a year, straight to the bottom line. Now, we're doing that in the face of a diesel fuel subsidy, which correctly BHP, Rio Tinto, Woodside, others are saying, well, hey, baby, I'm not going to fight my own government. They're saying, here's all this money you can have if you keep on burning all this fossil fuel, but by the way, go green.
Right.
What am I missing here? So we're just doing it because we've worked out that it's cheaper anyway. And we're going to hold our government to account. We're going to hold governments across the world to account to say, hey, you're subsidising fossil fuel when it was already cheaper to produce what you produce with green energy. It's irrelevant what you produce. It's how you produce it. I want people like us to be held on a scabbard up against a wall to say, you could have gone green and you didn't.
So there are a couple of important things you've said, aside from the description of specific examples of what you're doing, which I appreciate, electrifying and in other ways transforming the energy mix, seeing savings in the bottom line. It drops right down, as you say, on the diesel savings. You look like a genius with the Hormuz crisis, right? Not that you weren't a genius before, Andrew, but a global crisis in fossil fuels is a good time to be off of or getting off of fossil fuels. But we're riding the electrification wave, of course. The International Energy Agency has called this the age of electricity. We see the global pace of electrification growing twice as fast as the overall growth in energy demand now to 2030, and it may even go higher. We're here in China, which of course is in many ways becoming an electro state, as has been coined, showing what is possible even in industrial heat and other hard to abate sectors, showing the potential of electricity, which is a gateway for using cleaner fuels. Doesn't guarantee it. You could use coal to make your electricity, but it provides a platform for future growth in decarbonized fuels and renewables. So that's the positive. But the flip side, you also put a flag on the question of fossil fuel subsidies. By the estimation of the IMF, there are trillions of dollars per annum continuing in both direct and indirect subsidies continuing, and often at times of energy shocks, we find more subsidies, not less, distorting perverse subsidies that are put in place. We saw this in Europe, of course, with the invasion of Ukraine. We saw the gas shock leading to subsidies and many of them having distortionary impacts. So the challenge to all of you, let me ask whoever wants to step up, what do you see, given I've given both a pro and a con from the current energy shock the world is maybe coming out of, who knows? We'll certainly take some time to figure out what comes next. How do you see this affecting our conversation about the prospects for investments into nature, into infrastructure, into some of the topics we've discussed, the impact? Yes.